Hello. What happened to Austin Butler's character, Buck Cleven, in Masters of the Air Episode 4? The fate of Austin Butler's Gale Cleven remains unknown in Masters of the Air Episode 4, but history indicates whether he lived or perished after Bremen. In a scene from Masters of the Air, Austin Butler looks to the left at his conversation partner while wearing a WW2 bomber jacket and cap. This article contains spoilers for Masters of the Air Episode 4. Summary of the contents. Buck Cleven's fate following the off-screen expedition to Bremen is unknown, leaving the audience to speculate about his survival in Masters of the Air Episode 4. Buck and the other missing men were presumed to have died during the mission due to a lack of sightings of their chutes, creating a somber atmosphere at Thorpe Abbotts. Buck and Captain DeMarco survived, but were apprehended by the Germans and imprisoned at Stalag Luft 3 until the war ended. Though Masters of the Air has maintained a focus on Austin Butler's Gale Buck Cleven, Episode 4 sees the pilot leave on an off-screen mission, leading the 100th to believe he was killed in battle and leaving the audience with numerous doubts about what truly happened to the character. Though Masters of the Air is a war drama, it is based on the true narrative of the men who fought in the United States Army Air Force's 100th Bomb Group. Buck Cleven was one of the many airmen who battled against German forces in the spring and summer of 1943. In Episode 4, the 100th embarks on a mission to Bremen, and upon their return, it is evident that they suffered significant losses. Specifically, some 80 men from the 100th did not return from the operation, including Major Harry Crosby and Major Gale Buck Cleven. When the guys that returned say they saw no chutes come out of Buck's plane, it is thought that he and the other missing soldiers did not survive the mission. However, without any insight into the operation itself, Masters of the Air leaves Buck's fate uncertain. Austin Butler's Gale Buck Cleven did not die in Masters of the Air Episode 4 based on Buck Cleven's real-life records. Viewers can be confident that Austin Butler's character did not perish on the Bremen mission in Masters of the Air Episode 4. The fact that the series did not reveal the mission or Buck's fate was most likely intentional. Masters of the Air most likely sought to keep spectators guessing about what happened while also recreating the atmosphere that existed at Thorpe Abbotts when Buck disappeared. Given that none of the survivors were on Buck's plane, it's only natural to presume the worst. Keeping their hopes high would be far more unpleasant. During the off-screen mission to Bremen, Buck's plane was severely damaged by German fighter jets, forcing him to evacuate. According to the 100th Bomb Group Foundation, the operation began normally, but things took a turn for the worst when the 100th's planes became separated from their formation due to intense flak. Buck's plane was eventually left alone and exposed, and the Germans severely destroyed it. Despite Buck's determination to land the jet in Holland, he and his crew were compelled to escape and land on German soil. How accurate was Buck Cleven's mission in Masters of the Air Episode 4? Austin Butler plays Gale Cleven in Masters of the Air Episode 3. Because Episode 4 of Masters of the Air did not feature the Bremen mission, viewers can only gain intelligence from the soldiers at Thorpe Abbotts. In this regard, the mission is shown appropriately. When the 100th returned from the mission, the soldiers at Thorpe Abbotts were disappointed to see how many men were gone. Colonel Harding claims in Episode 4 that 8 planes were lost. However, the 100th Bomb Group Foundation reports that the official total was 7. Ultimately, the sentiment remains the same. The 100th lost more than it won. The idea that Buck was slain is the most correct component of Episode 4's Bremen mission. Because no one witnessed Buck's death or survival, the 100th declared him and the other lost men missing in action. Regardless, the widespread consensus at Thorpe Abbotts was that the men had died. Though this is a depressing outlook, it makes sense for the 100th to think in this manner. After such repeated losses, the guys gave up hope that their lost companions would be found, especially since most of them were dead. What's next for Austin Butler's Buck Cleven? Austin Butler, as Gale Cleven, is clothed in bruises while in Africa. Though Masters of the Air has left Buck Cleven's destiny uncertain, the show will ultimately return to him, and when it does, he will be in a new chapter of his battle experience. Buck and Captain Bernard DeMarco escaped their damaged plane and dropped into the home of a German farmer. He and DeMarco were subsequently escorted to Frankfurt, where they were interrogated and placed in solitary prison. They were later transferred to Stalag Luft 3, a prisoner of war camp, where they remained until the war ended. Buck Cleven's fate is not a good one, but it is better than dying during the Bremen mission. Hopefully, Masters of the Air will explain Buck's fate sooner rather than later, so that fans can learn what happened to him. Furthermore, it will be intriguing to see how the show goes into the reality of prisoners of war camps when it investigates Sergeant William Quinn's escape from Belgium. Overall, the show offers the ability to explore facets of the battle that have not previously been shown. Thank you for watching.